Hey, welcome back. Friday of week 11, also known as Moving Day, officially kicks off what is known as the Track King off-season. During these 2 weeks, several different and important things happen. The one thing you will probably notice first is that there is no more league races for us to enter the next week. But then what races should we enter these weeks? The answer is regionals. Regionals are amazing. Regionals are a time when you can make buku amounts of cash, and we don't even have to place in a race to get it. Regionals take place at our regional track, and stables from all over the region participate. There are a few ways that regionals are different than league races. First, we get to enter 3 regional races each week instead of just 2. League races are limited to 15 horses per race. Regionals allow much more, I think up to 25. Regional races are age restricted. Depending on the region population, there can be a lot of races to choose from. Bot stables don't enter regionals, so we are only racing against human-controlled horses. The purse size is huge, and so is the jockey bonus. If you're worried that we won't be able to even place any of these races, don't be. Like league races, regionals have a named jockey bonus. With every horse being human-controlled, and the entry limit being larger than 15, the jockey bonus can get to levels larger than winning the race. There's lots of money to be made. Just enter a horse with a named jockey, and you'll help the bonus get larger. More than just racing differences happen during the off-season. As stable manager, we have some important decisions to make regarding next season. First thing is to figure out is what class we are going to be in. If we finished in first place in our league, we must promote to the next class. We don't have a choice. Also, if we finished lower than 6th, we would be stuck in the class we are currently in. We finished in 4th place, not bad for a stable that had just begun. Because we finished in 5th to 2nd, we have the option to promote to the next class. What shall we do? Well, let's weigh our options. If we move up, we will get more sponsorship money, and the purses for the league races is larger. The competition also gets better. Those computer-controlled horses we've had no problem beating in our league races, the bot stable horses improved by around 10 overall rating for every class you go up. Starter horses we were given are built specifically to destroy Class 4 bot horses, and with just a little bit of training, do very well against Class 3 bots. When we get to Class 2 and higher, those starter horses begin to lose their utility. So things start to get more difficult when we promote in class. And we need to be sure we're ready before moving to Class 2 or higher, but Class 3 isn't that difficult. Is there any reason to stay in Class 4? Well, there is one. Stakes races. There is a benefit in being in Class 4 and below in stakes races. There are certain stakes races that are limited to class. If you go to any track on a stakes race day, you'll notice that the second race at every track is limited to Class 4 or below. That means if we were to promote to Class 3, we wouldn't be able to enter those races. It also means that if we enter a stakes race in Class 3, we could potentially be racing against Class 1 competition. We aren't quite ready for that, so we're going to do one more season in Class 4. We make our choice by going to the stable page and finding a link in the events window that will allow us to make our choice. There are some other choices to make in the events window as well, like do we want to change tracks? That's right, in the off-season we're allowed to move our whole stable to a different track, even on a different continent, and it's all done for free of charge. I'll talk more about moving in a minute, but first I want to briefly cover the donating money to your stable. We can give 10% of our personal money to our stable, with the penalty of taking some damage to our prestige. We are already at dire prestige, so taking a hit won't be too costly. We also don't have that much personal money, meaning that we can't really give that much back. We want to get our prestige off dire eventually, but I think for now I'm going to go ahead and donate some money. Back to moving tracks. What track should we race at next season? There are 3 things to consider. The most obvious is continent to go to. That determines what time our races are run. Pretty straightforward. The other 2 factors are usually linked. The track's prestige and the number of human stables racing in your class. Tracks with dire prestige don't have many human racers running at them. It is easy to win league races, and those constant first place prize monies can grow your bank account rather quickly. The drawbacks of not having to race anybody is that you don't end up racing anybody. The game will get boring when success comes too easy, and you really won't learn the ins and outs of racing. The big benefit of a track like this is that if you know you are going to win 2 first place purses every week, you can count on getting a large chunk of that cash every week and spending accordingly. We can alternatively join a super track. Just about every continent has a super track, or a track where a lot of track kings has congregated to race each other. Up to 25 human racers per class. These tracks are easy to find by going to the daily top 50 page. At the bottom, you'll see the most competitive leagues. The race purses are quite a bit larger at these tracks, but the increased competition usually means that those large purses are divided among many winners. There's also the drawback that one can find themselves completely overmatched, leading to a case where the game becomes boring because success is almost impossible. The other great benefit of these populated tracks is that they qualify and have local cups that you won't have access to if you don't reside at the track. And that's a shame, as some of these cups are the perfect goals for a new stable to shoot for. The last option is a middle ground, a league with 6 to 14 runners. Enough racers for competition, but not so many that one finishes out of the money very often. For our stable in Season 40, we're going to be staying in Class 4 and moving to Ganges Banks Racecourse. I spent some time messaging a few people to see if they would like to move to the same racetrack for the next season. A few have agreed to join, and it should be a good time. Because we all started our stable around the same time, no one is going to have much of an advantage over anyone else. One last note about moving. If you decide to move from a track you're currently at, your vets and training hours will be reset. You just have to go in and reallocate those hours. Just make sure you remember to do so you don't lose a week of training. Wow, there sure is a lot to do in the off-season. Am I forgetting anything? Oh right, horses and jockeys will age. Horses that turn 11 and jockeys that turn 33 will retire from the game and can't be raced any longer. If that's going to happen to any of your horses or jockeys, plan for acquiring a replacement. That's about all there is. Good luck next season, and I'll see you next time.